Season 5 brings big changes to Lucifer's world, with one of the most intriguing occurring after Lucy and Chloe take their relationship to the next level and discover his powers have dramatically changed. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video I'll be revealing the hidden secret from Season 1 that explains why Lucifer and Chloe's powers transformed in Season 5. Spoilers ahead, so take care if you're not caught up. There are some strange goings on with Lucifer's mojo in Season 5, the crucial moment being the morning after Lucy and Chloe finally sleep together, when Lucifer suddenly discovers that Chloe has acquired one of his superpowers and can mojo him.
What do you truly desire?
On top of that, later that day, Lucifer finds that he seems to have lost his own mojo.
Niels, tell me, what do you truly desire?
Is this the way you people solve crimes?
But in the final episode, after he becomes invulnerable again around Chloe, he discovers his mojo's returned.
If I still have my mojo, I'd just ask, what is it you desire?
I want to be a dancer.
For a full understanding of what's going on here, we need to go back to a discussion Lucifer had with Linda in the first season, when he was trying to understand why Chloe was the only person he knew who was immune to him.
Why is she able to refuse my charms?
It's not that you're afraid that you don't have power over Chloe. It's that you're afraid that she has power over you. But people don't have power over us. We give it to them. You have to take your power back.
We can see how this applies in Season 5, when Lucifer is repeatedly annoyed that Chloe has seemingly taken his power away.
What do you desire?
I want my mojo back.
Which is why when Lucifer's mojo returns in the 8th episode, it's likely because he subconsciously took back his power and stopped feeling so insecure. As co-showrunner Joe Henderson said in an interview with Variety, for Season 5 they wanted to find a way to physicalize Lucifer's insecurities, and the mojo became an excellent opportunity to do that. Another good example of Lucifer's insecurity or anxiety about this issue is how he went running to Dr. Linda for an impromptu therapy session straight after discovering that Chloe could mojo him. Henderson's comments also tie in with the running theme in the series that angels can self-actualize, which was particularly evident in Season 4 when Lucifer took on a more monstrous appearance and grew bat wings because of his self-loathing. Indeed, Lucy's white feather angel wings returned as soon as he overcame those feelings and began to accept himself for who he is and realized that Chloe did too. By the way, ironically, it was during that same conversation with Linda in Season 1 that I mentioned earlier that Lucifer came to the conclusion he could solve the problem of his powers not working on Chloe by sleeping with her.
So you understand?
Yes, I need to have sex with her.
That's not what I said.
No, you're a genius.
Little did he know that when this eventually happened, the result would be the exact opposite, the temporary loss of his mojo. The next big change in Lucy's powers comes in the Part 1 finale, when he discovers he's now invulnerable even when he's physically near to Chloe. The moment occurs just after Dan shoots Lucifer, and Chloe, who was in the same room at the time, is distraught and assumes the worst may have happened to him. But then he gets up completely unharmed and, delighted with the new state of affairs, shoots himself again.
Yeah. Invulnerable.
Because he's an angel, Lucifer normally can't be killed or hurt by ordinary mortal weapons. However, from the 4th episode of Season 1 onwards, the series established that whenever Chloe was nearby, he could be injured. And he's even died twice in the show so far, although those deaths have always been temporary. So how did Lucifer regain his invulnerability around Chloe? Well, for the answer, let's go back to the moment just before Dan arrived to shoot Lucifer. Chloe had just suggested to Lucy that because she could mojo him, it meant for the first time that he was opening up to her. However, notice Lucifer's reaction as he begins to understand the implications of that.
I think I may have dropped my guard.
And as Chloe goes off to freshen up, a realization dawns upon Lucifer about something she told him previously regarding one of Amenadiel's theories.
He thinks that you choose to be vulnerable around me.
I think he might be right.
And Dr. Linda pointed out to Chloe earlier in Season 5 that Lucifer is
unfathomably narcissistic, utterly terrified of intimacy, and sabotages everything good that ever happens to him.
So in that short time between Chloe walking off and Dan arriving, it seems that Lucifer made a subconscious decision to be invulnerable again around Chloe. And Lucifer's return to invulnerability around Chloe also answers why he wasn't injured in the slightest in the show's pilot episode, when he was shot at point blank range while very close to Chloe. This Season 5 development seems to confirm the theory that because Lucifer hadn't yet developed a full emotional connection to the detective or insecurities in that first episode, he was still invulnerable around her. As for Chloe, she fears this change means Lucifer doesn't love her any longer.
Now you're invulnerable all the time. Doesn't that mean that you're no longer choosing to be vulnerable with me?
Now, Michael has obviously amplified this fear in Chloe, but even though Lucifer is now invulnerable again,
Think of me as your human shield. Or devil shield.
it's evident that he still has feelings for her when he goes to say,
Chloe,
Lucifer using Chloe's real name rather than detective is an important callback to that major moment in the season 4 finale when he confessed his love for her.
my first love was never Eve. It was you, Chloe.
So the real answer as to what's going on here may be that Lucifer has decided emotional vulnerability with Chloe doesn't have to lead to physical vulnerability around her. In other words, he's got his former insecurities in check. As Amenadiel told Chloe,
You're the only mortal who sees him for who he truly is.
because she's immune to Lucifer's mojo, she sees him for who he truly is, rather than reflecting onto him her own desires and wishes. And that allows Lucifer to see the good in himself. In other words, that he's more than just a cipher for people's desires and a punisher of their sins. And interestingly enough, some advice Dr. Linda gave Lucy in the first season turned out to be pretty pertinent to all this.
Sometimes we need to lose something before we can understand its value. When angels fall, they also rise. All you have to do is embrace all that you are.
Now, what about Chloe's new Mojo powers in season 5? Well, so far it seems like they only work on Lucifer. Neither she nor Lucy were able to mojo the opera singer Niels, and Chloe believes her power only appeared to work on Mario the vocal coach because he was a Hot Tub High School fan and he simply responded to her because he was starstruck.
What do you desire?
To tell you anything you want to know.
Curiously, there was also an incident in season 4 where it seems like Chloe might have already acquired Lucifer's mojo.
Why did you desire the files in the drive?
Because I didn't want anyone to know what I had done.
However, it's likely that Chloe was piggybacking off Lucy's mojo, which was going wild at the time, given that all the guests at Lux were coming up to tell him their desires without him even asking them. And that moment was possibly also some foreshadowing for what the writers had planned for Chloe in season 5. Intriguingly, after learning she was a gift from God, Chloe hoped it meant she had some powers herself.
So, do you have any powers? Or anything cool? I don't know. Laser beam hands, something?
So in the future, could she acquire some more of Lucifer's superpowers? For example, if she became immortal like him, this would resolve the problem that as a human she's destined to die while Lucifer will live forever, though it would leave her with the problem of daughter Trixie still being mortal. And I talk more about that and other predictions for the show's final seasons in my theories video. Click here for that or follow the link in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, then a thumbs up is hugely appreciated. Tap left for my full Lucifer playlist with videos on all the Easter eggs you missed in season 5, my part 1 ending video with an explanation of what to expect from God in part 2, and cool secrets about the making of the show. Or tap right for something else you're sure to like. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!